Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and thank you for joining Recruiting for AmeriCorps VISTA webinar. Before we begin, please ensure you have opened the chat panel by using the associated icon located at the bottom of your screen. Please note, all audio lines are currently muted. Also, this conference is being recorded, and all slides will be sent to the participants who attended today. You are welcome to submit questions throughout the webinar, which will be addressed at the Q&A session of the webinar. To submit a written question, enter your question in the Q&A box in the WebEx. Select all panelists from the drop-down menu in the chat panel, then enter your question in the message box provided. If you require technical assistance, please send a chat to the event producer. With that, I will turn the webinar over to Leadership Team Member DiMarzo, Assistant Deputy Secretary for the Office of Field Policy and Management at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Thanks so much, Marco. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Today's webinar is co-hosted by HUD and the Corporation for National and Community Service, CNCS. My name's DiMarzo. I'm the Assistant Deputy Secretary for HUD's Office of Field Policy and Management, which oversees the department's place-based initiatives, which includes the EnVision Center demonstration. So as a designated EnVision Center site, HUD has committed to you that we're going to help enhance the services you provide to your communities under the 4 pillars of self-sufficiency, which are economic empowerment, educational advancement, health and wellness, and character and leadership. So we appreciate our federal partners at CNCS for being available to talk to all of our EnVision Center sites today about the AmeriCorps VISTA program. Secretary Carson is very excited about our partnership with Barbara Stewart and CNCS. No group of people have had a greater impact in the fight against poverty than VISTA's. They grew out of President Kennedy's vision for a national service program modeled after the Peace Corps, and they serve rural America, our cities, our tribes. They work on critical housing and education and food distribution programs, and so we're very grateful for everything they do to serve our country. So CNCS is not just a critical partner for EnVision Center demonstrations, but also for Promise Zones, and so we've had a great relationship with CNCS over the years, and of course share those goals of alleviating poverty and increasing the capacity of our EnVision Center sites so that we can serve all of our residents better. So many of you have applied for and successfully hired a VISTA. Others are recruiting for a VISTA. Today we wanted to highlight the important resources and strategies that CNCS has to help you recruit your VISTAs. So without further ado, I have the honor of introducing Beth Binkley. She is the Marketing Outreach and Recruitment Director for AmeriCorps VISTA. Beth has been with CNCS for 7.5 years and with VISTA for 1.5 years, and previously she was at AmeriCorps State and National for 6 years. So Beth, we really appreciate you doing this call with us today. I want to thank you and your colleagues for everything you're doing to help us here at HUD, and please take it away.
Thank you, Ben, for the introduction. I really appreciate that. Good afternoon, everyone. We are so excited to be with you today, and we look forward to supporting all of the EnVision Center staff on your recruitment efforts. Joining me today is Eric Powell. He will be monitoring the chat and the questions you submit, and he will also be helping to answer your questions. Eric is a training specialist in the VISTA training unit, and he's been with CNCS and VISTA for over 11 years. Eric is a 2-time VISTA alum, so he has a wealth of knowledge about serving as a VISTA, and he served as a VISTA in 2006-2007, and then again as a VISTA leader in 2008-2009. So before we dive into the agenda, I want to start off with a quick note on COVID-19. The coronavirus has had a dramatic impact on how we live our lives and how we serve our communities. And social distancing is not part of AmeriCorps' DNA. We're the helpers bringing communities together around the country to address local needs. And we want to take a moment just to acknowledge that while the service of our members has been affected, we are working to get back to doing what we do best, and our agency continues to keep a very close eye on the situation, and we are adapting as needed. So additional things that I wanted to note is we currently have AmeriCorps members who are serving, and they're doing so safely, serving remotely in some cases, which we call this teleservice, and others who are helping with the response. And VISTA is accepting applications during coronavirus, and recruitment is year-round. So we continue to encourage individuals to apply whenever they feel comfortable to serve. And we know that AmeriCorps and service is going to play a more important role than ever to help communities recover during this pandemic. And we want individuals to be aware of all the opportunities to be a part of that. And we hope that they consider service as a viable option. And lastly, we do have a website of frequently asked questions, nationalservice.gov/coronavirus, which we are posting in the chat. So you as sponsors can get answers to any questions around member service and the pandemic. So as you can see, we have a robust agenda to get through today, and I hope that you all leave prepared to start recruiting your VISTA members. As you see, we will cover recruitment planning, marketing for your VISTA position, screening and interviewing candidates, selecting the best candidates, and then how to keep them engaged once you have selected and made the offer. As Marco said, we will have time for questions at the end of the session. Right now, I do have a quick question for all of you. Prior to the current partnership with VISTA, was just curious, how many of you have worked with VISTA members in the past? You can answer that in the chat. We just want to get an idea of who is new to VISTA and AmeriCorps in general. So I'm not saying, oh, someone is, okay. Stephanie has had one. Okay, you've worked with VISTAs in the past. This is great. Good to hear. Good. Well, we'll be sharing a lot of good information for those who have had VISTAs in the past and for those who are new to VISTA. So that leads into why AmeriCorps VISTA. And VISTA is about advancing local solutions and learning how to be a community development practitioner through experiential service. VISTA members immerse themselves in projects that respond to the community needs. They serve hand in hand with organizations to address poverty, working to improve the lives of people and create change that lasts. AmeriCorps VISTA members bring passion and perseverance to their organizations that fight poverty. As I mentioned, the members serve as an agent for change. They live and work alongside the community leaders to meet our nation's most pressing challenges and to advance the local solutions. Each year, we have approximately 8,000 members serving in over 4,200 locations. And VISTA members serve in a professional setting, and they help organizations carry out their mission through fundraising, grant writing, volunteer recruitment, much more to expand an organization's ability to make change in communities. And there are many benefits during and after service for VISTA members. They receive a modest living allowance to cover basic expenses during their service term. The Siegel AmeriCorps Education Award is offered to individuals who complete a term of service and can be used to pay for a range of educational experiences like repaying a qualified student loan or future tuition payments. Members can earn up to 2 full education awards with multiple terms of service. Individuals in approved AmeriCorps positions are also eligible for forbearance for most federally guaranteed student loans. In addition to that, interest payments that accrue during service may be eligible for repayment by AmeriCorps. And members gain transferable skills that employers value, including leadership, teamwork, and problem solving. This connects to the jobs with leading employers. Once members complete their service, they can leverage the Employers of National Service Network, which connects AmeriCorps alumni with hundreds of employers from the public, private, and nonprofit sectors who are committed to hiring AmeriCorps alums. VISTA members also receive health care coverage, and once they complete their service, they can join a network of like-minded leaders who are passionate about improving communities. AmeriCorps alumni receive access to special benefits and resources. For example, many colleges and universities match the Education Award and offer additional AmeriCorps scholarships. So with all of that, let's now jump into recruitment. Here are the stages of the VISTA recruitment process, and we will be discussing each stage throughout this session. And this is a good place to acknowledge that we do have a variety of approaches for recruitment depending on your role. For example, we have intermediaries, we have single site supervisors, and we also have sub-site supervisors who may be involved with recruitment in a variety of ways depending on the project. But whatever your role may be, the stages of the AmeriCorps VISTA recruitment are the same. You plan, market, screen, interview, select, and engage. Of course, each of these stages has sub-stages and incremental steps necessary to complete that stage. For example, marketing would involve creating print or electronic materials, knowing to whom you want to market and when, etc. So we are sharing a link to the VISTA campus that includes these stages of recruitment, and there you will find tips, tools, and resources for each of the stages that we're going to go through today. So before we get into the stages, I do want to start with just identifying some potential barriers to recruitment. And you should be mindful of these barriers and obstacles, which can include highly computerized intake process that could exclude some candidates. Every candidate has to apply through the myamericorps.gov. And so, you know, that is part of the process. And you will want to provide clarity about which type of candidate is preferred, community-based experience or exposure, or more focused on skill sets and experience. Housing uncertainties can also discourage good candidates. A good job market may encourage candidates to take a full-time job instead of serving as a VISTA. And ineffectively presenting the win-win opportunities of serving can tip someone to choose another program. For example, the living allowance can really work to someone's advantage if they are in school in between undergraduate and graduate school, or if they're on Social Security and can earn that additional money through outside income, or not doing a good job talking about post-VISTA member benefits such as non-competitive eligibility or NCE in federal jobs, and explaining how accrued student loan interest during the year of service could potentially be paid off. And so these are all examples that can come up during recruitment that should be considered during your planning stage. And how you turn those barriers into opportunities is all about how you view the situation. So someone with challenges accessing technology can benefit from you showing them alternative places where they can access computers, such as their local library or coming into your office. Complications with navigating a computer in the application process can be overcome with you assisting them. We all know that applying to become an AmeriCorps member in our platform is not the easiest, and so complications can arise, and your assisting them can overcome that. Also, determining if you want a national or local recruit will benefit you from knowing your own area, the resources you need, and being aware of the VISTA relocation benefits that we offer. Difficulty getting applicants because of your project's location can greatly be rectified by showcasing it as an adventure destination and for you to accurately talk about your location's greatest assets. Finding ways to offer other benefits to those who feel that the living allowance may not be enough. And examples of this include providing housing or a housing subsidy to a VISTA's landlord, or a monthly public transportation pass, or helping VISTA members know how other people in the area live. And presentation of opportunities when you explain to VISTA applicants how they will benefit during and after their year of service, what leadership opportunities they will experience, and the skills they will develop as a result are just an example of this. And take the time to have internal and external staff review your ideas, get tips from other VISTA members, other VISTA leaders, supervisors, and help VISTA applicants understand just why this program is so special. Also, remember the incredible power of storytelling and capturing your current and past VISTA members' stories to assist you in recruiting. A real-life compelling story can turn someone's obstacles into opportunities. And so once you have identified any of these potential barriers and how to overcome them, you can move into creating your recruitment plan, and you will need to determine the who, what, when, where, and how. So begin with the end in mind, identify where you want to end up, and plan backwards. Look at the end date and back up to include any holidays, downtime, or any time you and your staff are out of the office. Consider what is required to achieve the desired outcomes, such as time, money, resources, and tasks, and consider how much of your time it will take and how to schedule it with everything else you have to handle, because we know that this is not your sole job for VISTA recruiting. You have a whole other list of things that you're working on. And so what other resources can you anticipate that you will need, and where will you find them? Consider who will help with the recruitment process. Who can you identify? Who can you depend on? It doesn't always have to be someone in your office. You can think outside the box. This could be a project or a class, a group, or an advisory board, or a working group within your agency. Determine where to find good quality candidates. And this depends on what you are looking for. And you really must have clarity with this first and foremost. And lastly, timelines are critical. You will need to determine what is the most critical time for your site to recruit. The VISTA Campus recruiting page, which we posted a link to just a moment ago, and we'll post it again, offers a worksheet to help you map out your activities to build out your recruitment plan. And to build out the plan, you will need to review your VISTA project goals and outcomes. What do you really want to accomplish? Specify both the 3-year project goals and objectives and the goals and outcomes for the current year. Because remember, the VISTA project is a 3-year project period, and the skills needed for year 1 may be very different for skills needed in years 2 or 3. So be clear about what's needed for all stages of the project. In addition, it's important to identify the special skills and knowledge the candidate must possess and or be willing to acquire to meet the responsibilities, goals, and outcomes of this position. Identify the top 5 responsibilities a successful VISTA candidate will have to perform. And lastly, identify the top 5 personal effectiveness competencies the successful VISTA candidate will need to arrive with to perform their service successfully. The number of VISTA members you want to recruit is another key consideration. You must plan to keep track of all of your candidates and all of your positions. When do you anticipate the VISTA member starting? Does it need to coincide with the start of a school year or the direct supervisor's vacation time? The start date of the VISTA member is the same date of the VISTA member orientation, or VMO that we call it here at CNCS, which is the process by which the VISTA program prepares VISTA candidates for service and helps them to begin their full-term service. This is the first day they report to their service site. They participate in the webinar at your site, and you have a key role to ensuring that the VISTA is on this required webinar at the correct time. Think through each phase of the recruitment process to consider the tasks and activities. Who's going to do the work, and when does it need to be completed? You can use the Creating a Recruitment Plan worksheet on our VISTA campus to outline major steps that are needed to get your recruitment plan off the ground. You can also refer to the VISTA Recruitment Checklist for a list of sample tasks needed for each phase. Both of these documents are Word documents that you can customize for your program, and you will find them on the VISTA campus. So let's move on and look at the elements of a solid recruitment plan. So elements of a good recruitment plan include, but not necessarily limited to, outlining the steps in your marketing, screening, interviewing, and selection process, and developing your recruitment task list. So be specific on these tasks that you need to have accomplished. Also, draft your recruitment timeline, and remember, start at the end and work backwards. Set up your tracking systems and put them in your calendar and set alerts. Identify the staff and their roles, and whether you do it or someone else does it, be clear about what has to be done. And again, think outside the box as to who can help do this work if you are a one-person operation. And lastly, prepare supplemental questionnaires, interview questions, and programmatic information that you can share with applicants, because each of these elements are essential in considering how you will recruit and how to document your process to make recruitment a little easier the next time you go to the next time you have to recruit. So as you're building your recruitment plan, again, remember to track all of your deadlines and benchmarks and calendar them in a place that you can continue to go back to, whether it's an Excel document or if it's in your Outlook calendar. Developing your recruitment calendar will help you track everything from when you should have your opportunity listing developed, which we'll talk a little bit about later, and when it should be posted to myAmeriCorps.gov, when you should start advertising your service opportunities, the target dates for interviews, the dates by which you should make your decisions, and so on. So I have mentioned several times to plan backwards. You should start with the date by which you will need your VISTA member to begin service, which again is also the date of that VISTA member orientation or VMO that is provided virtually by our VISTA headquarters training unit. And knowing this, your recruitment plan should really begin about 120 days out from that VMO date. This will give you the time to advertise, screen and interview, and select your candidates in time for that first day of service. So let's move into marketing phases of recruitment. So included in this will be your VISTA assignment description or your VAD, the service opportunity listing, outreach and advertising, and any challenges you might face along the way. So we're going to start with talking about the VAD. It's absolutely critical to a successful recruitment, placement, and retention is a well-written VAD, specifically crafted for that position, that candidate, and for that year of service. So you will complete, submit, and get approval for your VAD or VADs from your CNCS regional office. It's important that you develop a clear, concise, and believable VAD. It's very critical. So since the VAD is the job description for the VISTAs, it's imperative, again, that it is very well written. And we suggest that you brainstorm the personal and professional competencies that match your organizational needs for the VAD. And also work to seek clarity about what's needed. Do you want an individual who has familiarity with the community and or specific skills to address the needs? Focus on which attributes are needed and which ones you can teach. So now that you have set up your recruitment timeline and you have developed your VAD, it's time to start the marketing and create the opportunity listing. And all projects must complete a service opportunity listing, and this is done through eGrants. Some of you may already be familiar with eGrants, and some of you aren't quite there yet, but you will create a one-page opportunity listing for myAmeriCorps.gov based on your list of competencies, the VAD, and your ideal candidate profile. A service opportunity listing, again, is similar to a job description and is the main source of information about the position. The listing must be uploaded to eGrants so that applicants can view it on myAmeriCorps.gov. Be creative with your information and your descriptions, and think about creating a two-line teaser that can attract candidates. This is the one place that candidates look. What distinguishes your program and responsibilities from all the others that are out there? Why should they consider your program? What's in it for them? And have you articulated that in a way to attract your desired candidate? In order to help you craft your opportunity listing, VISTA has developed a job aid to help you get started. This resource includes a list of the required elements and fields to create an opportunity listing in eGrants, as well as information to help you successfully create and post the opportunity listing. So you'll want to download that for your reference and use, and we're also posting that in a link in the chat to that particular document. And depending on your organizational structure, supervisors or the lead sponsoring agency will create the service opportunity listing. And once the eGrants form is completed, the regional office staff will approve your listing, and then it gets automatically posted to the myAmeriCorps.gov, where it can be accessed by potential applicants. And just as a reminder that all applicants to the VISTA program must apply online in myAmeriCorps.gov, which is why the service opportunity listings must be there and apply specifically to your organization. So when you think of engaging, you probably think of exciting and enthusiastic and energizing. And what about what captivates someone? And this screenshot on the slide is one of myAmeriCorps.gov, where applicants ultimately must go to search and apply for the service opportunity listings. And don't forget that you should not rely solely on this site for recruiting, as you will want to advertise more details about the position on your organization's website and other places, which we'll be addressing in a moment, and then link them to your opportunity listing in myAmeriCorps.gov. So on this site, VISTA applicants will see this two-line teaser that you see the list of the 4 that are here, which is in essence a very short mention of your program to highlight the opportunity. So think of a two-line teaser as sort of an elevator pitch you'll use to capture someone's attention and hopefully make them so captivated that they will want to click on the link to view your full opportunity listing and get more information about the position in your program. The two-line teaser is limited to 200 characters and only allows for text, so no images or special characters. And so you have to spend a little time to carefully think about what's going to work in that limited space and how to make the teaser stronger. And you will want to put something in your teaser that will hook your audience and make them click to learn more about your project and that specific VISTA opportunity. So some things to consider when crafting your listing is the first thing they're going to see again is the two-line teaser, which again is limited to roughly 200 characters. And again, reminding you that the teaser will appear in a long list of other teasers, so it needs to stand out. And for the full listing, however, once a candidate clicks into that particular listing, some things that you want to include are who you are. So what is your organization, the mission, the history, the role in the community, where are you located, what are the benefits, the unique features to the location, what will members do? Here you will use the VAD to develop the brief list of tasks, and be sure to use active words that convey challenge and excitement and that describe the capacity building activities that the members will be doing. And what attributes and skills are you looking for? Why should people join your project? What are the benefits? What will they learn? What will they accomplish? And what do you offer that's unique? What are the start and end dates of your project? How does someone get more information? So be sure to include your mailing address, a phone number, and an email. And are you using your VAD to outline your member duties as part of the listing? Again, if not, we suggest that you go back and see if you can add some more concrete language from your VADs to that area. And finally, again, what makes your program unique? Consider adding 1 or 2 things about your particular program's core values or unique programming. Or maybe you want to emphasize the skills the VISTA members will develop or the professional training that you can provide. And as said earlier, effective service opportunity listings are both marketing and recruitment tools that can strike a balance between making the position attractive and also giving the candidates enough information to make an informed decision about that position. It's important to identify the stages to reach potential candidates who match the personal and professional competencies that you are seeking. Identify community groups and agencies that have direct contact with your target groups. Networking with community-based organizations can help you recruit, form partnerships, create awareness, and design future activities. And baby boomers who have recently retired may be the largest group of skilled workers available. Yet for VISTA, college graduates are the largest group that seem to choose our program. There's room for both, but messaging, marketing, and outreach for both is very different. We also encourage you to ramp up your non-traditional recruiting efforts. While university recruiting is a tried and true strategy, we do encourage your organization to explore alternative talent sources like accelerated training programs, boot camps, local community colleges, and community organizations. For example, Dress for Success, the Goodwill Industries Career Center, as well as Job Corps. You don't have to start from scratch. On the VISTA campus, you will find the quick guide to recruitment, and we are again posting a link in the chat. You will find resources with links to membership organizations, nonprofit organizations, and other initiatives to help you expand your traditional and non-traditional recruiting efforts. Effective and passionate recruitment messages will touch on the characteristics of the program, and you need to focus on the needs and interests of the applicants to create an emotional pull. Be sure to develop your message and write your opportunity listing for myAmeriCorps.gov based on the list of competencies, the VAD, and your ideal candidate profile. And remember to submit and get approval for the opportunity listing from your regional office. So consider numerous places to advertise. You can post your opportunity listing in eGrants, which will appear on myAmeriCorps.gov, which is a requirement already, but then also advertise your position via word of mouth, online, or print, based on your list of locations to find applicants who match the personal and professional competencies you're looking for. Be prepared to market your entire program to potential candidates because they're going to be interviewing you too. Effective recruitment vehicles include word of mouth, Craigslist, idealist.org. Those are just to name a few. We're going to jump into a few more in the next couple of slides. And you can also engage in desktop recruitment by utilizing your social media channels, online searches for career development sites in your area, and also just by including a link in to the opportunity in your email signature. And remember to be innovative and engaging. Don't carry the "we've never done it that way before" attitude. This is your opportunity to try something new and fresh to boost your recruitment. Some examples might include hosting a coffee house chat, setting up a recruitment table at a local commencement practice, and connecting with career development departments at local campuses for possibilities and arrangements. But we cannot talk about outreach without addressing the current climate caused by this global pandemic. Part of your outreach may include presentations for potential applicants to learn more about VISTA service opportunities. But prior to COVID, you may have considered attending one of a career fair like I just mentioned at a local college or university, or giving talks at meetings or other events, or holding that coffee chat at the local spot that I also just mentioned. With social distancing, we know that these events and opportunities are not happening or happening less often with far fewer people in attendance. So consider hosting a webinar from your own office that will let folks know what the opportunity is about, what the process is about, or participating in a virtual career fair or exhibiting at a virtual conference. Reach out to career counselors at colleges and universities. You can contact your area's nonprofit consortium to provide an overview of your opportunity and your ideal candidate. As you know, nonprofits have access to people who may be looking for this type of opportunity. And although word of mouth has been found to be the most effective recruitment tactic, we do understand that it does not work for everyone, and sometimes you have to post the job or the opportunity. Many sponsors and supervisors post their positions on other websites, again, Idealist being the most popular. Some also post to Facebook, since so many people use social media, and we see organizations including links in their Twitter postings as well. And LinkedIn has 675 million plus members who are there for professional networking opportunities, many of whom are recent graduates or what we call career shifters, those looking to make a change in their professional journey. Both demographics are looking for career, internship, or fellowship opportunities, so this is definitely another place where you can share your service opportunity. You should definitely put the listing on your own website, and you may want to have your social media links bring the user back to your website. Since myAmeriCorps.gov is limited and it only has text, but your website likely could contain graphics and more information about the VISTA position, and plus they can learn more about your organization in general. And then you can create a link for the user to then go and complete the application at myAmeriCorps.gov. You may also want to post in community boards and local listings. When posting to external sites, be sure to take a look at our branding guidance and utilize our recruitment resources like customizable recruitment flyers, logos, stock images. We have ready-to-post graphics and videos, and we are posting some links in the chat where you can find these assets specifically for VISTA and for AmeriCorps overall. No matter where you post, there is key information that you want to include in your listing so that you get informed and passionate candidates. So when writing the listings, there's a balance between making the position attractive while giving enough information so that people can make that informed choice as to whether VISTA service is right for them. And they also need to be the right fit for your organization and position. And I want to throw out to folks who are listening, and you can answer this in the chat. Are there platforms that you're considering that we're not listing here? Let us know where you're thinking about or where you have already posted your VISTA position. And you can put that in the chat if there's anything that we have not mentioned that you are utilizing. And Eric just posted, if you have questions about AmeriCorps VISTA Recruitment or service in general, let us know. Okay, I'm going to keep moving on. So when you post your opportunities externally, meaning places other than the myamericorps.gov, they should include the same details as your posting does in the myamericorps.gov for consistency and clarity of information. This will help the applicants be aware of the project goals and benefits no matter where they hear about your position. So this means that as you post the service opportunity on your website, on social media, on flyers in the community, just be sure to include the same information as you did in the myamericorps.gov listing. And be sure to track where you're posting your VISTA service opportunity and create a record of where your best applicants found out about your listing. If you know where the best prospects are coming from, you will know where to post positions in the future, and that may help you better craft and target future marketing strategies and opportunity listings. And once a position is filled and the applicant has confirmed that they will serve at your site, make sure to take down those external listings and uncheck the accepting applications and e-grants so that people don't waste their time applying to this closed position. And whether you get people to apply who live far away or nearby, spend time looking into your local area and trying to recruit people from within the community. The VISTA program may be just what they needed, and there may be benefits for you having a VISTA member who already has experience working in and with the community. So people want to know how something will benefit them, whether it be personally, professionally, financially, or otherwise. Make sure your advertising helps them clearly see that. And remember, if you are advertising in different locations, for example, college campuses, senior citizens, or senior centers, or online platforms, you can target different benefits to different groups. For example, college students may be more excited to know how they can utilize the non-competitive eligibility benefit after completing a year of service, while a retired senior may be more driven by such a commitment to the community. And it works well when you can help potential applicants see how the opportunity will be a win for them and a win for the organization and the community. They will want to gain something from the experience while also leaving their mark and positive impact on the community. And you can showcase some of this in your marketing and outreach using active verbs and adjectives, highlighting the benefits for the member and the community, and pointing out how VISTA members can make a difference. You can also do this during the interview when you have a chance to talk face-to-face or over the phone to the applicant more about the position. You may feel confident in your approach and your materials, but always get feedback. You will want to avoid using too many acronyms or language that only internal individuals would understand. And show your recruitment ideas to internal staff as well as individuals in the community who know nothing about AmeriCorps VISTA. Ask them if they understand the position, if it sounds exciting and appealing, and if it's something they feel you should add to enrich what you've already developed. Feedback from external audiences, even including those who do not have positive feedback, can be eye-opening. So recruitment in general, especially in rural areas that are difficult to find or attract applicants, may be more effective if it has the personal touch and connection to the community. Create your plan in such a way that you may not have to do as much work as you think. Include recent retirees and people who are mid-career in your marketing who may have time available and the skill set to be of service. Friends of current volunteers may also be a great source. Utilize houses of worship, civic and social organizations who already have built-in networks and may be service-minded also. And just like many people who are attracted to the Peace Corps for its international experience and immersion, you can recruit local and national applicants by using innovative approaches to telling the story of your community and advertising it as a domestic adventure. Think about commercials or advertisements you've seen that make remote and seemingly desolate places look riveting and exciting. Definitely don't lie or fabricate the truth, but talk about the reality of what your location does not have, so that the VISTA members understand that setting and you can emphasize what it does have and what makes your area so special. And now urban communities, on the other hand, may depend more heavily on social media to identify candidates. The AmeriCorps.gov website is a great source, as well as schools and civic and social organizations and also houses of worship. And urban recruiting can be more challenging than one may think, because sometimes the opposite situation occurs in which an organization gets a lot of applications and a lot of people who might drop out because they may have been mostly attracted to the urban area, not necessarily to the position. So no matter what type of recruitment you're doing, never underestimate the power of a good, down-to-earth, homegrown storytelling. So if you've had VISTAs in the past and you can tell the VISTA story as a part of your marketing, that is always going to be a catch for people who are really interested in that community impact and giving back to local communities. And so we are posting again in the chat our quick guide to recruitment. This helps you determine what you can do for outreach when you have 30 minutes, a half day, or an entire day to commit to recruitment and outreach activities. Are there any activities folks are considering that we have not mentioned? You can post that in the chat if you have anything that you've been doing that we haven't mentioned yet. And I'm gonna keep going. And so now that you have implemented your marketing and you've received several applications, you should be ready to review and screen applications to prepare for scheduling interviews. VISTA supervisors stress the importance of creating a detailed and clear position description that can be used as a screening tool before and during an interview. We want to emphasize this quote because this relates back to the VAD and the opportunity listing that we've talked so much about already. Sponsors have indicated in the past and currently that having a position description that is detailed and clear is vital to the marketing, recruitment, and the screening of the candidates. This should not be surprising to anyone because the more clearly you are able to articulate what you want your VISTAs to do, the easier it will be for you to find the right candidate. And screening quality candidates can sometimes take time to find, and we recommend developing a good screening process to ensure the right candidate is in the position rather than just a warm body. So a thorough screening ensures that applicants qualify for VISTA service, they will persist throughout the service year, and most important of all, will be a good fit for your community and your organization. And this will be a process of screening and narrowing your candidate pool. So prepare your benefits and limitations of service that are outlined in the terms and conditions so that you have this information to share during pre-screening activities. And you can conduct those pre-screening activities to determine who's still interested and committed to the process. For instance, phone calls, providing the applicant with a living allowance sample budget and see if it's something that they can make work, asking them questions to determine their scale of commitment. And so then when you move to round one, you will have narrowed your list of applicants. And then you'll apply your screening and selection criteria to narrow your list even more. And by utilizing common screening criteria, that would include their motivational statement, their past job experience, their performance, their professional references, and their legal background check. So then round two, you would continue to narrow your list even more. And then you would utilize reviewing and rating of the applicants. For example, create a rating list for your applicants of the must-have skills, the nice-to-have skills, optional skills for the position, and think about who meets that criteria. And then, you know, as you go through the process, you will continue to narrow your list of applicants. And we do have a worksheet on the VISTA campus that can guide you through the screening process. And even after narrowing your list of applicants and identifying who may best be suited for the position, your first choice applicant may encounter life experiences or other choices preventing them from committing to you. This is a critical issue. Stay connected with your backups and be prepared to shift them into first place if necessary. If you do keep a list of backups, do not promise them the position, but let them know that they're on the wait list. And above all, be honest with the backups about the situation. Next slide, please. Thank you. And remember that the interview is a two-way interview. I mentioned this before. You are interviewing applicants, and they are interviewing you and your organization. And be consistent in the questions you ask all candidates to make your selection easier, and be specific with your interview panel about why you're asking a specific question and what you hope to gain from it. We do have a sample list of interview questions for VISTA candidates. You can, again, get that from the VISTA Campus Recruitment section. I believe we're posting a link to sample lists of interview questions. And as you think about interviewing, put yourself in the candidate's place. If they're relocating to a new town or city, think through the needs of the VISTA members in their new environment. Since, you know, they may be nervous, they may find it difficult to make friends or just need help in learning the new landscape. And so if a VISTA candidate is serving in their hometown, you can help them to understand their new role within their community as a VISTA member. As part of the interview process, you will want to contact the VISTA applicant's references for additional information. When you determine the candidate is a good fit, you then offer them the position, and remember that you are selecting them for the position, but it is officially the CNCS regional office who approves the member for service. You will then explain the next steps to the applicant so that they meet all the deadlines and are well prepared for VISTA service, such as attending that VISTA member orientation, or VMO as we call it, completing their onboarding forms, logging into the VISTA campus and registering to do the pre-work courses that are required, and then also giving them a printed copy of the VISTA assignment description, and then also just providing contacts for them if they have questions. It's essential that you give them this information for their direct supervisor and anyone else who would be helpful in answering questions prior to their starting service. And this leads to engagement. So once you've made the offer and the candidate has accepted, it's so critical to keep them engaged between the time they are selected and their start date. It's important, this engagement is important because you don't want them to think that you have forgotten about them or that you've lost interest in them. We do know that between the selection and start date, it could be a few weeks, it could be a month. So we want to make sure that we keep them engaged and that know that they have not been forgotten. So some ideas to keep candidates engaged between recruitment and start date require a lot of advanced thought and planning. So some ideas are listed here on this slide, but there may be more depending on your community and your program. But you just want to be sure that you build the excitement by staying connected to those candidates. So you might want to consider a telephone or Zoom call from the supervisor where you can include other staff that they may be serving with so that everybody can get an intro to each other, a weekly email communication about new aspects of the program, provide pre-work to get them started and energized. You can send them a welcome mailing from the Chamber of Commerce, provide something outlining the attractions in your area. You can even have other VISTA members contact them or VISTA alums that can share their story. And be sure to provide any information on housing opportunities that you're aware of, because if they're moving from out of state or from another town, they will definitely need help finding housing. And if there's something else that I haven't thought of, you can post it in the chat. But those are some ideas that we have about keeping your candidates engaged. And lastly, just some overall best practices. Sponsors recruit year-round, but springtime here with VISTA is our peak application season. Note that I did not say peak recruitment. It's just a peak application season. It's from March through the end of May. We just see a higher submission rates of applications. For this reason, recruitment is directed more towards upcoming college graduates that attend the VISTA member orientation in the summer months. And so to take advantage of this, again, you'll want to begin early, 9 to 16 weeks in advance. Starting in the spring works best. Be consistent in your efforts. Spend an average of about 9 hours per week. Enlist support of your subsites, your VISTA leaders, your staff, volunteers, any alumni that can support your efforts. Again, utilize word of mouth, social media, Craigslist, idealist.org, your organization's website. Recruit for specific skill sets and personality traits as well as national service interests. And lastly, develop a clear and well-written VAD and a compelling opportunity listing, because these are so critical to setting the tone of what you're going to do in your recruitment plan. So we made it through. We've got about 6 minutes. Do you have any questions? Eric and I might not be able to address everything, but we will answer as much as we can. Remember to post your questions in the Q&A box.
Thanks,
Okay,
Beth.
so go ahead.
I was going to say we got a really, really good question. It was around if it's possible for CNCF to provide contact information for VISTA alumni to any prospective VISTA candidates so that they can hear their story and learn more from the program.
We can't share contact information, but we do have a lot of stories on our blog, on our CNCS blog. We can get that link to you. We also have stories all over our social media on Facebook at AmeriCorps VISTA. So we are constantly posting stories, whether it's a news story or a story that we have researched and developed and created a post about. We're doing that on Twitter, on Facebook, there is also, and Eric, you can correct me, but I believe that there is a Facebook group of AmeriCorps alums that folks could probably go to and seek out stories there as well.
That is correct.
Do you have any other thoughts about that, Eric?
No, the only thing I would say is, similar to what Beth said, is on the VISTA campus website, there's also a section called Stories of Service. So you can actually read information from VISTA alumni about what they found useful, and you can also log in and create an account and connect with currently serving VISTA members.
Oh, great
So
idea.
the next question I'll start to answer and then pass it over to Beth is, are there any good sample VISTA assignment descriptions on the VISTA campus? I'll start because I know when I was one of my responsibilities in the VISTA training unit is putting together training and also updating materials. And I know some of the VAD VISTA assignment descriptions that are on the VISTA campus are decent, but they need to be updated. So we are in the process of updating the ones that are currently there. So I'll turn it over to Beth if she has any other feedback on VAD.
I don't. That's great.
Okay. So yeah, stay tuned for more updated information as we continue to get accurate and relevant information available to you. And then, Beth, you or I can take this question. It's, when will the next opportunity as an organization or sponsor be to apply for a VISTA volunteer? So I think my question is, it sounds like a two-part question. I'm not sure if the question is in relation to when can the organization apply to get a VISTA project, or if they already have approval, when can they start recruiting for VISTA volunteers? And I will start by saying to the first part about when can the if the question is related to when can an organization apply to get a VISTA project, we have a unit in our VISTA program called the Program Impact and Operations Unit, and I believe it's roughly quarterly that they do what they call Request for Concept Paper, or RFCP. And that's a time when they openly allow any organization to submit a request to get a VISTA program. So that's typically quarterly. If your organization has already been approved to get a VISTA member, Then it's really up to your CNCS regional office to work with you to figure out what stage you are at in the process, so that the CNCS regional office can then say, okay, well, the next VISTA member orientation is on X date. You can recruit for that. So it's definitely important to make sure you're in touch with your portfolio manager in the CNCS regional office once your VISTA project has been approved, so they can work with you to make sure that they give you enough time to recruit and select your VISTA candidate.
Thanks, Eric. And I did mention in the chat for folks, if you didn't see it, that October 1 is the next submission date for concept papers.
Wonderful.
And Ramel, we are at 2:59. Do we have time for one more question?
Yes, we definitely have time for another question. I see one from Carol. If you want to take that, Eric and Beth. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Carol. The question is, have we discussed how these programs are funded? Some VISTA organizations are new to this program concept and wondering what the funding looks like. Do you want to start that one, Beth, or do you want me to?
I'll let you take that one.
Okay, well, I'll try to be brief. So basically, the CNCS obviously is a federal agency, so our money comes from the government. AmeriCorps VISTA's funding comes directly from Congress, and so at the beginning of the fiscal year, we get an appropriation saying the VISTA CNCS gets a certain amount of money, and then from that, the VISTA program gets a certain amount of money. And with that money, we, of course, allot based on the 8 regions across the country where the resources are best allocated, and then the VISTA program through the CNCS regional offices is able to determine how many VISTA members that would fund, including the living allowance and all the benefits, et cetera. So it is evaluated every year, not just with government funding, but also with our appropriations. But our money does come directly from the government.
Thanks. Thanks, Eric. I think now it's 3 o'clock and we've got to wrap up. I do just want to say that we do have a couple of slides with resources. One thing I do just want to note really quickly is that our agency is undergoing a rebranding, so our branding guidance will be updated at the end of this month. So just know that that criteria is going to change. And then just want to thank everybody for joining us today. We are so excited about the HUD EnVision Centers having VISTA members, and we hope that this has been helpful and that you'll be able to utilize the resources that we've provided. And be sure to visit the links. And if you have any questions, in the last slide, there is contact information. You can reach out to VISTA Outreach at cns.gov for any recruitment questions. So thank you all. Have a great afternoon.
That concludes our conference. Thank you for using AT&T Event Conference Enhanced. You may now disconnect.